We're going to be looking at Acquisition 102, Documenting Negotiations. This is the 5201.11 out of the Real Estate Manual. Welcome to the Ohio Department of Transportation online course for Acquisition 102 for Documenting Negotiations. This module will cover the basic procedure for documenting the negotiation notes in compliance with 49 CFR Part 24 to Section 5501 2-5 of the Ohio Administrative Code. In addition, this section will illustrate the need to maintain adequate records for acquisition. At the end of this module, you will be giving a knowledge check to make sure that you have an understanding of documenting the negotiator notes. Here's our table of contents. We're going to be focused on the 5201.11 documenting the negotiator notes and looking at the RE60 series forms. The district offices are required to maintain adequate records documenting compliance to the following regulations. We're going to be looking at 49 CFR Part 24. We're going to look at Section 5501 2-501I of the Ohio Administrative Code, record keeping and reports, and the Real Estate Manual. To implement this regulation, we're going to be looking at the negotiator notes, which is the RE60, the 60-1, and the RE61. We're going to take a look at how these notes play an important role with the source of information. So the first one is a primary source of record information when communicating with the property owner. It's a primary source of record information when communicating with the district contractors on the project site. Primary source of record information when communicating with the consultants. It's a primary source of information when communicating with the Assistant Attorney General's office. Now, when you're looking at the negotiator notes, these notes should be filled out in a manner allowing anyone reading the forms to have a thorough understanding of the information. Negotiators' notes should document the owner's responses, concerns, issues, and attitudes. It also should accurately be documenting the negotiating process, providing detailed information about the meetings with the owner. Now we're going to look at negotiator notes, what it should not be. Negotiator notes should not be handwritten. There's very hard documents to read when negotiators write their notes. They should be typed to make it easier to read and understand. To abbreviate it. A lot of times you abbreviate the notes, you abbreviate the words, and it makes it very difficult for people to understand what you are trying to say and interpret. So it's better to write the notes completely out without using a lot of abbreviations. Try to refrain from boilerplate language because each parcel is different and it's unique. Copied from another set of negotiator notes. Once again, each parcel is unique and deserves its own set of notes. Copy and paste from emails. That's generally not a good idea. It bolsters the size of the negotiator notes. It's always good to reference the email into the negotiator notes, and that way you can go ahead and point directly to that email. Recognizing negotiator forms. We have the RE60, the Negotiation Summary Report. In Section 1, it contains the name of the title holder and the lien and leaseholder, and it lists all the owners, include the marital status along with the address. Section 2, you want to note any information that's not found in the title report, and you want to discuss this. Section 3, this is where the record of all the owners and negotiator meetings and includes the offer and the counter offer. It lists all persons that are in attendance of that meeting. Section 4, the arrangements pertaining to the possession or the vacation date. And this is if the owner is in an agreement. The negotiator should say possession after closing, after 30 days, or possession at the time of closing, or the owner will rent after 30 days. Gives the reader more information when that particular parcel is passed down. If the parcel will be filled out for appropriation, the negotiator should say to be determined later, parcel is being appropriated. Section 5, this is the date property management section was notified of the purchase and the details, and the date the estate acquisition brochure was given to the property owner. Also, the date the property management is informed about the agreement and the purchase, and the date of the brochure was given. This is kind of an old term that's brought over from when the Department of Transportation had regions. Inside the regions, they had property management sections. Now the regions no longer exist, and all of the real estate offices are in districts. The main focus now is to make sure that we have the date the brochure was given to the property owner. Section 6 is for remarks, and in the remarks is specific comments on the RE 60-1 of importance, such as mortgage information, retention of improvements, or that you're dealing with relocation. So those should be brief comments, not long storylines, but brief bullet point comments to capture the reader's attention of certain items that need to be taken care of. 5 items in the checkbox, the negotiator is required to mark the appropriate boxes with an X before signing the RE60. And then we have what is known as the RE61, appropriation attachment to the negotiator notes. This attachment is required to be completed by the negotiator for the Assistant Attorney General's office. So in other words, in the event that you're not able to reach an amicable agreement with the property owner, you will download the RE61 and you will fill out the document, and it will be attached to the negotiator notes. All right, documenting your negotiations. The requirement is to maintain the notes documenting your negotiations. You need to retrieve the RE60 and the RE60-1 from the website when the assignment is received. To complete the parcel, the agent must sign the RE60 when the parcel is accepted or appropriated. So either way, it needs to be signed if it's accepted by the property, you have an agreement, or the parcel has to be moved forward to the next step to appropriation. To your left side of the screen, this has the RE60, where it talks about the name and title holder and giving the address that you're supposed to provide, along with the name of the lien and lease holders and its address. Next area is number 2. This is where any title information that's not found, you want to make sure that you put that information in that section. Next is the item number 3. This is the record of the owner's negotiator meeting notes. This is where you're documenting the date that you met with the property owner, that all of the participants were there, including yourself. That goes into the name. The location that you met, either on site or at somebody's home or at a different location. The offer that you have presented to the property owner, as well as if the property owner comes back to you with a counter offer. All of that has to be documented with inside of the note. On the second page of the RE60, which is on the right hand side, this is where we're looking at the arrangements pertaining to the possession or the vacated date. This is where we talked about the closing that'll take place, or closing after 30 days, or this is where we're looking at they will be renting after 30 days. Or in the event that you're dealing with an appropriation, is that it will be determined once the parcel is filed for appropriation. That's what's going to go into that section of the form. You have item number 5 is where the date the property management section was notified of the purchase details. At the same time, you're looking at when the state acquisition brochure was provided or given to the owner. We have bullet point remarks that would help provide additional quick guidance to the person that's going to handle the closing that prevents them from flipping through all of the notes, although they should go through the notes anyway, but these are the quick reminders of the things that's going to take place. The next item, the 5 boxes we have talked about to make sure that everything is in compliance. The realty specialist will date and sign this particular parcel. The next area we move to the RE60-1, where you have the name of the person you're dealing with, the phone number, the address, and their location. You're marking your X's in compliance with the Title III of compliance with the law. And this is where you're going to be verifying that you verified the title report, you verified the procedures, and you explained the appraisal report. You also explained and verified the fair price policy. This is where we're getting the fair market policy. You explained the payment, how the property owners are going to get paid and when they would get paid. You're also going to talk about and or mark that you gave either a verbal offer as well as a written offer and the date that you gave those offers. That's very important. You're going to explain payment of taxes if applicable. And what do I mean applicable? If you're dealing with fee simple takings and you're acquiring a warranty deed or warranty deed with limitation of access, you're going to be explaining how the proration of taxes would have to be paid at closing. That's when it's applicable. If it's not applicable, if you're dealing with easements, you are explaining to them that there will be no taxes because they will still have the underlying fee ownership. In some areas, though, some counties, they still may require it, but generally they do not. And you're going to be talking about retention of the structures. You're going to be talking about the appropriation process. And that way the property owner can understand all of its rights. And then the next area is the plan letter delivery process, which is mailed and explains the project. And this is where there is a plan letter that will accompany the notice of intent to acquire good faith offer, or known as abbreviation as the NIAGFO. The next thing you're going to see, which will be on your left-hand side, a part of the RE60-1, the date and remarks. This is a very important section. This is where you're going to document your events with the property owner. And if you remember, we talked about how in the notes you document all of the concerns, the attitudes with what's going on with the property owner with regards to the project, and you're explaining the project and any questions that have to be asked. All of that is placed directly into these notes. On this right side is a sample of the Diarrhea of Notes. Everyone is unique, so it's important when you write your notes that you're going to write your notes whereas it's easy to be understood. And now it's time for a knowledge check.